What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new football news video. And the Premier League is back. It's official on June 17th, so just a little bit shy of 2.5-3 weeks from now we will have a Premier League football back on our TV, and I can't be more excited about this because I really miss the Premier League. This has been the longest time that I haven't watched Premier League football since I began watching it in 2001, and I think that the games will be amazing in the Bundesliga. I've been watching it. The Bundesliga has done really well, and I think the Premier League, even without fans, will be very exciting. In this video you will get to know all the details, all the fixtures, what kind of games will be on TV, and also Sky Sports will show 64 Premier League games, with 25 of them will be free to watch in the United Kingdom, but all 92 remaining Premier League games will be shown live either on BT Sports, Sky Sports, or on Amazon Prime, or either on their YouTube channels. So it's going to be a very exciting festival of football, with basically every single game played in a different time slot. So you will have games, for example, on Saturday and Sunday you will have 4 games per day to watch from like 2 p.m. until the evening. Awesome stuff. Really excited about that. And also in this video we will talk about the potential of the police forcing Liverpool to play at neutral venues in the beginning of the Premier League resumption, and not letting Liverpool lift the title at Anfield. And they want to force Liverpool and potentially some other clubs as well to play at neutral venues. But I think the police, I heard that they are most concerned about Liverpool games, and for fans not to congregate around Anfield by the time Liverpool could win the title. But Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool want Liverpool to play at Anfield. We want home advantage, and I think there will be an argument between the police, the Premier League and Liverpool on what is the best course of action to take from here on. So more on that later in this video. But the first 2 games to be scheduled are Aston Villa Sheffield United and Manchester City Arsenal, because they are postponed games from earlier rounds that still have to be completed. And on June the 20th, Liverpool will play their first game. It will be the Merseyside derby, Everton against Liverpool. So what a game to kick off. And if Manchester City lose in the Man City Arsenal game, then Liverpool could become champions by winning against Everton. If, as I said, Man City lose, which is not very likely, but who knows, after 2 months of lockdown anything can happen really in football. So Premier League Chief Executive Richard Masters admitted in an interview that a small number of games could be played at neutral venues because of police concern of fans gathering around stadiums. And this is what he said: "It's our preference to play the games where they were originally planned, home and away, but there are some concerns." And actually the police wants to move every game that Liverpool play to a neutral venue until they mathematically win the title and until they are awarded a title, because they don't want fans to congregate around the stadium when Liverpool are actually going to win the title. The police statement said the game in which Liverpool could secure the league title should also be moved, but this may end up needing to be more than 1 game if the Liverpool did not clinch the title at the first attempt. Do you think this is like punishing Liverpool in a way or not? Let me know what do you think about this. I'm still not sure to make up my mind on it, because I just learned this information a few minutes ago, so I don't really know all the details, but let's get through it together. So the police said that the majority of the remaining games will be played home and away, just like as scheduled, but some games, a small number of games, will be taking place at neutral venues. But what the problem is, nobody agreed yet which games those will be. And Richard Masters also said that they want a trophy presentation. This is what he said: "The police have legitimate concerns, but we think we can mitigate some of the issues they are trying to deal with. Ultimately, we want the season to be played out on the pitch, and we are discussing a number of opinions and options to make it as fair as possible." we will do everything we possibly can to deliver a trophy presentation. It's really important to mark that moment and give the fans that memory to mark it. And I think Liverpool fans would be absolutely rioting if you didn't give them a trophy presentation after waiting 30 years for Liverpool to lift the title. Imagine if the Premier League said, "No, you can't lift the title, you can't have a trophy celebration." That would be just the biggest injustice and the biggest travesty. And I mean, if the players are safe to play football together, they are safe to celebrate a trophy presentation together, the Liverpool players. And the Liverpool mayor, Anderson, said this: "It is important that the local authority understands the concerns of both the police and also of the supporters. The major priority is the health and safety of the people of Liverpool, but we will also listen to concerns of supporter groups. So one thing I would question is whether the Premier League could find a way of moving the fixtures that may provide the greatest challenges, for example, the Merseyside derby, to later in the fixture calendar, with the intention of attempting to take away some of those concerns." So Liverpool's first two games are Everton away and Crystal Palace at Anfield, and we still don't know whether those games will be played at neutral venues or not, and three remaining Liverpool games could be played at neutral venues. Ian Herbert, a journalist, said that the police have identified 6 fixtures which require neutral venues: Man City Liverpool, Man City Newcastle, Man United Sheffield United, Newcastle Liverpool and Everton Liverpool, the game in which Liverpool might take the title. I'm not sure what kind of requirements about these games that these games met those requirements or criteria. Not sure how the police decided on these fixtures, but I think this is a very interesting and developed story that I will update you guys if I get further information later this week. It seems a little bit extreme, but English Liverpool fans and English Premier League fans are so passionate. But in the Bundesliga, there hasn't been any problems of fans gathering around stadiums. Of course, there wasn't a title won yet. Liverpool could win the title so early this season. I mean, in terms of how many fixtures have been completed, there is a danger of some Liverpool fans gathering outside of Anfield if Liverpool were about to win the title. But I think Jurgen Klopp wants to address that, and they want to give a statement to Liverpool fans. Jurgen Klopp wants to send a message to Liverpool fans to actually prevent them gathering outside of Anfield or outside of any stadium. And according to James Pearce, who is of course a Liverpool-based journalist, Liverpool are very unimpressed with this whole idea that they will be on the road at neutral venues for home games. And they will tell the powers of the Premier League that Liverpool fans and fans should be trusted. Jurgen Klopp and the players will send a message on social media that they expect will be followed. And this makes sense for me, but when beaches are full and the parks of London look like a festival every weekend, why is it football fans, and in this case Liverpool fans, who are like demonized and looked down upon? That it doesn't sit right with me. The BBC will have 4 Premier League games during the rest of the season. Amazon Prime will also have 4. Sky Sports will show 64, and they will make 25 of those free to view on air, and also BT Sport will show the remaining 20 games. And matches will be held on Monday, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m, on Friday at 8 p.m, and also full weekend schedules. So for Saturday it's 12:30, 3 p.m, 5:30, 8 p.m, and on Sunday 12 to 4:30 and 7 p.m. So both on Saturday and Sunday 4 games. On Monday and Friday 1 game, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday 2 games. Wow. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine in 7 days in the Premier League you will be able to watch so many games, like almost 20 games in total. A company looking at the financial situation of football clubs actually ranked the top 10 most valuable football clubs in the world, and Liverpool, this is an annual report given every year, and Liverpool went from 7th to 5th most valuable club in the world. Real Madrid are the first, Man United 2nd, Barcelona 3rd, Bayern Munich 4th, and Liverpool with a valuation of 2.26 billion pounds, which is a 19% increase, the biggest increase on this list after Paris Saint-Germain. They went up from 7th to 9th to 5th place, which is absolutely crazy. The most valuable club is Real Madrid with an almost 3 billion pound valuation, but also Liverpool got ahead of Manchester City and Chelsea and Tottenham, and Arsenal make up the top 10, and Paris Saint-Germain increased the most in valuation. They jumped 36% up, and actually Arsenal's valuation went down 13%, which I thought was super interesting. It's also worth saying that these figures were calculated before the global health and financial crisis struck. So this doesn't take into valuation how much money and how much revenue and value football clubs lost in this financial crisis. So we have to be honest with that. Maybe this list will change next year, but this year at least Liverpool are the 5th most valuable club in the world, and I'm super happy about that. And I want to update you guys on Shaqiri's future, who barely played this season, and I'm really sad to see him go. But it looks like more and more likely that Shaqiri will leave Liverpool in the summer, and it looks like Newcastle United, if their Saudi takeover goes through, then Shaqiri will be one of the first players that Newcastle will sign. That's according to Dominic King, who is a journalist working for the Daily Mail, and this is what he said. Newcastle have sounded out Shaqiri's representatives about a transfer move this summer. Liverpool will not stand in his way. If the initial talks firm up, Shaqiri would be interested in the transfer, providing that the takeover goes through. Of course, Shaqiri doesn't want to go to Newcastle right now, but when the takeover goes through and Newcastle will be basically having unlimited amount of money, I'm sure Shaqiri will want a big contract for the last few years of his career. And also, I think playing every week at Newcastle would really suit Shaqiri. I think he's a very good technical player. He already showed at Stoke City that he can play in a team quite well who is in mid-table in the Premier League. And I don't think Newcastle will fight against like the top 6 next season to get into the European places, but I think they will gradually build up the club like Manchester City have done. And it will be very interesting how the new owners, if the takeover goes through, how the new owners go about their business. And Gary Neville said this about the Premier League resuming. Making 25 Premier League games available for free to watch for everyone in the country was a huge thing to do and the right thing to do. Obviously, we work for Sky Sports and know how important it is and how much Sky pay for the Premier League. But it's also really important at this time to demonstrate an approach which is inclusive. I think that on Thursday, that was the masterstroke of the announcement. It allowed other broadcasters in this country to show games that haven't even paid for them. We are looking forward to it, obviously, with every game to be live, with games shown to everybody in the country, which I think is going to be a huge positive. But Gary Neville still admits that there is a lot of work to do, and the Premier League's lack of leadership casts a little bit of doubt on the rest of the season. He said, in the initial phase, I thought the Premier League would come back. I was 100% sure. But then about 4 or 5 weeks ago, the lack of communication and lack of leadership, I felt cast doubt over everything. The country was at its peak at that time in terms of cases. I do feel a big moment was Crystal Palace chairman Steve Parish coming out and speaking. It took courage and bravery from him to do that, and it was against the grain at the time. He was the first person to come out with any real authority and speak in such a way that made sense about how the game could restart. I still think in the back of my mind, hope and pray everything moves safely right the way through the process. We are not out of the woods yet, but it's a big moment. The Bundesliga has helped in terms of giving confidence to the players, the managers and the Premier League. Carragher said this, I'm excited for it. It's probably similar in some way to when the season starts back up again, when we are off for the summer. I think we are all in the same boat. We all love our football, and that will be the same for a lot of people up and down the country. And it did give you that little bit of excitement and buzz that it was coming back. At different times when we have been off, I felt confident the game would resume, and at other times I felt it's not going to happen. Different things every day were popping up at different times. There were different problems being brought to the Premier League, and whether from different clubs or obviously safety issues. And it felt like a huge task to get over all the different obstacles. At times over this process we have been critical of different things, but to bring 20 clubs together with them, the players, the broadcasters, not just in this country but around the world as well, I don't think it's been an easy task at all. But when you set that date in stone, now it's something for us to look forward to over the next few weeks. I think we all got a little bit excited as well when the Bundesliga started back up, just to watch a few games, but this is now on a different level in terms of the Premier League coming back. It's not just about being excited about its coming back, it's a serious situation for a lot of clubs in terms of staying up. That's the thing that's really at stake in the next 9 games to be played. It looks like there will be games on every day at different times. We are going to be very busy, and that's what we want. And Gary Neville said the thrilling thing about the first set of full fixtures with the Merseyside derby, Man United against Tottenham, all the games of importance at the bottom, there was never going to be a pre-season or a soft introduction. There had been some suggestions of there being 4 to 5 weeks of training required for players to come back in before playing, but I was delighted when they announced the return was happening so quickly. It just means that the players can really focus now. If you said to the players they would be starting in the first week of July, it would have been different. 2.5 weeks away from now, from the first game, is a big thing, and to me it's the right thing that we get this over as quickly as possible, let alone get it started as quickly as possible. And that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. See you later guys. Goodbye.